Whether you're moving overseas with your family, relocating employees on assignment, moving your organisation's workplace, or transporting and storing high-value art or information, logistics in the modern world is complex. Our new podcast brings you expert voices to share insight, discuss trends, and offer practical advice, all with a view to making it simpler for you to live, work, and do business anywhere in the world. I'm Matt, and in this episode, we're talking about the corporate buzzword of the decade, sustainability. It's just one of the things that's making moving stuff that little bit more complicated. This vast field has rightly become a priority for so many businesses, with collaboration to protect the environment, give back to communities, and provide equitable opportunity for all, more prevalent now than it has ever been before. Not unlike most organisations around the world, Crown is pretty advanced in some areas of sustainability, but in others, it's at a relatively early point in its journey. And just like many of those other organisations, and indeed individuals, we're acting with urgency to deliver greater impact while grappling with the myriad challenges that entails, none of which are exclusive to Crown or any one organisation. So to discuss all this, and no doubt more, I'm delighted to be joined today by Joy Lamb, Crown's Environment, Social and Governance Director, or ESG Director for short. So without further ado, wherever you are in the world, welcome to Crowncast. Joy, hi and welcome.
Hi Matt, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm all right. I'm conscious that this is something that you and I could talk about for hours and hours. It's an area that we're both very passionate about, so we'll have to try and keep it fairly brief. But we should start by hearing a little bit more about you. Though before we get into your expertise and experience in sustainability, why don't you share a little fun fact about yourself with us? This is a little something that we like to do on Crowncast, just to give our audience a glimpse into the world of our guests. So, Joy, over to you.
Of course. Hi, everyone. You know me by my name, Joy, is my English name. And my fact is about my Chinese name. And my Chinese name is Lam Zi Lo in Cantonese. And by that, it means happiness of nature. So joy actually means happiness, Lam Zi Lo. And it is something that apparently my parents knew from the beginning of my life. They given me that name, that I will be, I will find happiness in nature. I would, need to find happiness and bring joy in life, and just restore the environment. I don't know, that's a lot on my shoulder, I guess, by giving me that name, but it's also means that I'm right on the right path of my career in doing sustainability. And that's the only thing that I know, I guess, doing.
What a really nice link to what you do now. It was almost like you were destined to do it all along. That's fantastic.
Exactly.
Super. And on that journey, Joy, your career in sustainability and protecting and preserving nature, you've already done some really big and exciting things. Tell us a little bit more about you and your journey, your career, your background, your previous work.
Of course. Well, sustainability has always been my passion. As a teenager, I spent countless hours sea kayaking along the shore of Hong Kong, which is where I'm from. And firsthand, I witnessed the impact of human activity have on the environment. So afterwards, I went on to study earth sciences in Hong Kong and then obtained a master's degree at Oxford University in the UK. After graduation, I really feel the need that I really wanted to work with different communities around the world. So I worked for a few years across Asia Pacific on nature conservation projects in international organization and with government. Later on, I became the head of sustainability at the University of Hong Kong. And most recently, I was working and living in Denmark as the LEGO Group's first circular economy director. It was really a great role for me because as a child, I played LEGO a lot. I was building and creating with the bricks I have got. But at some point, like a lot of people, I grew out of it, right? So I really do, have all these bricks stored at my parents' home because nobody really throw Lego away. Yeah. So it is such a valuable and durable product as we know it now. So I really went on to work at Lego Group because of my old Lego bricks that I'm storing at my parents' home. I wanted to recirculate all the bricks that I've been storing to make them useful, make them playable again, and develop a circular business model out of it. So I created the circular economy strategy for the Lego group, and basically reactivating, the bricks that is being stored, being played and loved by many children around the world, and give them a second life, and and many, many more lives again.
Yeah, and that must have involved so many different threads. I mean, just thinking about Lego and as you sort of touched on, the material it's made of, what did that involve from a circular economy perspective? Is that kind of recycling? Is it changing the materials that the product is made out of? Is it encouraging children to reuse the Lego that they've got to create other things? So take us through what that involved.
Of course. Well, the strategy is everything that you've said. We look into from design to sustainable materials to packaging, and to how do they manufacture different products in-house and with our partners. It is massive because we are looking at the whole value chain. But when we're talking about different circular business model, we are looking at what kind of different products that we were able to produce, and then, as you said, we wanted to extend the lifetime of the products. Children sometimes work better with different designs instruction, where we will be able to give them new and renewal instruction with the bricks that they have got, so that they're able to buy off the shelf different manuals to play with the bricks that they have, and then we can also look into different supplementary packs of bricks that enhance with the bricks that they have. So it's Lego is a toy that creates a lot of that generates a lot of creativity, and we will be able to leverage that with the different designers and creative mind that they have in the company. So it's really interesting and playful time, I guess, with the Lego group to explore what can be done with the product that everybody so love and cherish across the world.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think it just is such a nice snapshot into the challenges that every business, in whatever field it's in, whatever product it's working with, is having to overcome these challenges. And I know evidently circular economy is something that you're really passionate about, and perhaps we can touch on that a little bit later on. But just to sort of broaden out again, I mean, sustainability has become such a hot topic, hasn't it, for businesses in every industry. The word sustainability sort of takes me back to geography lessons at school in the noughties, where we talked about sustainability in terms of the rainforests and sustainably using the natural resources that we have. And I suppose the essence of that is evidently a big part of what we're referring to here. It's how do we do more with natural resources and protect and preserve natural resources. But the meaning and use of sustainability as a word, certainly in the corporate world, has broadened out quite significantly, hasn't it? When you look at, for example, the UN's Sustainable Development Goals and what they cover. So it might seem a strange question, but it's certainly something that we've grappled with here. What is sustainability in your view, Joy, and why does it matter?
I think asking a sustainability professional to define sustainability is probably the hardest question ever, right? It is like asking me to summarize my life in a sentence. But you're absolutely right, and I do like to go back to the basics and refer sustainability in business meaning the balance between economy, environment, and society. And admittedly, sustainability is now a business imperative. There is no way that any business can continue to thrive, be profitable, and in some jurisdiction continue without considering sustainability at all, right? Yeah. But then to bring the concept of sustainability in business world, in corporations and whatnot, is another matter. So at Crown, we are conducting a series of materiality assessment to evaluate the internal and external stakeholders' perspective based on the 12 ESG topics that are most relevant to our operation and our operating environment. We believe that this will inform our game plan on sustainability going forward. It has to be a collective process because I want the ESG strategy to be a living principle than just a document that sits on the website or worse, on my own drive, right? The process itself is also referred to double materiality because it also look at our operating environment, the industry, and the geographic locations where we operate in to see as a company where our impact and our influence are, and then address them accordingly. So this is sustainability is hugely important, but it's the approach and the methodology we look at sustainability is also very important as well. We need to measure and monitor progress and performance around it.
Yeah. So from our perspective, that materiality assessment, I assume, will highlight where our biggest challenges exist and the things that as a business at Crown we need to work on. But that tends to be different, doesn't it? I mean, we've spoken a little bit about Lego and the challenge that they've got working with single-use plastic, and our challenges will inevitably be very different. But perhaps just sort of speaking generally, what are the biggest sort of challenges that you think organisations face when they're seeking to become more sustainable?
Many organizations focus on sustainability are driven by peers, client pressure, hot topics, and latest trend and regulatory landscape that is, honestly changing every day. Many organizations lack a systematic approach to sustainability, which is a very dangerous thing to do because there are many things that we can be focused on sustainability. As you were referring to earlier, the UN SDG, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, is so broad that any topic can seem to be relevant to our operations, and will we be then stretching too thin if we are set out to address all of world's problem in the sense like many corporates, like many pioneering organization. Currently, we are seeing a trend that a number of organizations are scaling back on the sustainability ambition. This is not a bad thing at all because we are then more focused, finding topics that are more relevant to our operation, our industry, and to look at it more with more resources that is more focus and make a bigger impact ultimately. I really do appreciate this kind of coming in, and because it's so complex, as you started out saying, logistics business is complex. We've got a lot of interconnectedness and complexity in it, and it really take an organization of people to make it happen, to play a part in it, to make a difference, right? And I guess another issue, another challenge, so to speak, sustainability is that some projects, some initiative wean off because of timing or because of lack of stamina. And I think that the pursuit of sustainability, it's a long-term thing. It is indeed a marathon. You need a clear vision and you need many parties and endurance to stick to your plan without being easily influenced by externalities. And that's quite important. And I would love for us to do the same as well.
Yeah, I think you pick up on some really interesting things there, that idea of being more focused to drive greater impact in perhaps smaller areas, but also having that long-term vision. They evidently really important parts of any sort of strategy. And so our core business, as you've just sort of touched on, is logistics, and the logistics industry obviously uses lots of natural resources. But what do you envisage being the sort of opportunities and challenges for our sector as a whole?
So the transportation sector that we are broadly classified in, the sector itself, transportation sector accounts for 20% of our greenhouse gas emissions globally, right? So as a business, we must reduce our carbon emissions generated in our operations and become smarter in our business model. That really means becoming more efficient and embracing advancing technologies to help us plan routes and reduce energy consumption in our fleet and warehouses, etc. But what wakes me up every day is the opportunity to turn sustainability into a commercial, sustainable, value-added solutions for our clients and industry. Taking Crown Workspace as an example, our operating models revolve largely on circular economy by providing sustainable, refurbished, upcycle office moves, fit out, and furniture and IT equipment, right? Yeah. I would love to see that happening across brands and geographies. And I think as a business, I also want to find shared themes across regions and business to differentiate ourselves in the industry, to serve as a sound business proposition, because sustainability nowadays, we understand that it's not going to go away. And the earlier that Crown becomes ready and confident in our, different commercial offerings, the greater competitive advantage we can capture. So in a nutshell, there are so many innovations that can happen in sustainability space, and I think Crown is in a really good position in many industry to leverage on our existing business model to do that.
I think that's all really interesting. And I think Crown in particular, like many big logistics companies, sits at the sort of centre of a much wider network. Moving things from A to B requires lots and lots of different parties and stakeholders. So I suppose that collaboration and that sort of peer-to-peer driving of innovation is another thing that the logistics industry can really leverage, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. When I was looking at the partner list or our client list, so to speak, it's all the big brands, all the big names that, many of them are pioneering sustainability, right? So, and we also, because we have, 6 decades of working together with all these, we have built a very good relationship with our clients. I've seen sustainable innovation being co-developed between Crown and our partners and our clients, where we were able to innovate and look at our different business offerings so to meet their own sustainability goals, right? And that's really powerful thing because we can leverage on the relationship that we've built, over the decades of operation in our business to really do something collaborative together. But because as you said, logistics, it's a complex business, sustainability is a complex business, and there is no one person who can change it for the rest of the world. It relies on collaboration, both internally within Crown, externally with all our stakeholders and parties and clients involved. So that's a very, very important thing to do. And that's the beauty of it because, we wanted to be on this journey with everybody instead of, me fighting alone. Which is not going to achieve really great outcomes.
No, definitely. And I suppose the only other thing is the role of technology. I mean, we talk about innovation, and there's some amazing technological innovation. From the way we power vehicles to the way we power our homes. That all of those sorts of things present opportunities in the future, which I assume will become more scalable as well. So, for instance, it's still quite expensive to operate an electric fleet of vehicles, but over time hopefully that sort of thing will become cheaper. So do you envisage those sorts of things being opportunities for us as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think technologies and digitalization will really help, say when I was talking about like being better at planning our routes, where we're planning our logistics moves for people or for our clients, how are we actually optimizing all these things, or reverse logistics is something quite big on circular economy as well. So how do we actually leverage all these experience into new business model, for instance? So that's something that's quite exciting for me, obviously, as well. Crown operates in many geographies, and it poses both opportunity and challenges. Going back to your earlier questions, actually, about how different electric vehicle and fleet system works. It is different in different countries, right? So there are countries where electric vehicle is really just very easy to adapt to. Like in Greater China, there are lots of development and infrastructure being built. And then there are regions that for instance, net zero journey. Carbon is really a huge topic for us, and the transition to renewable energy. It's more it's easier in some certain operation than others. I think it poses a really great opportunity and challenge for us. But I think as you're alluding to, Crown is a huge company, and we have very committed individuals in the company, and we are very connected as a business in a sense where we were able to learn from each other.
I referenced it at the start, but Crown's at different points in its sustainability journey, isn't it? And Jim Thompson, the founder of Crown, has spoken at length about how giving back is one of the sort of founding principles of the company. And that's something that we have done and continue to do a lot of to great effect. The organisation is also incredibly diverse, given we operate in over 40 different territories. Engagement among staff is high. So there's some real tangible progress that's been made, and some great stuff that we're doing already. But we accept, don't we, that we're perhaps early in our journey in some respects. So what's next? I mean, perhaps we could just finish today by talking about some of the sort of next steps that Crown is taking from an ESG sustainability perspective.
Of course. So Crown has this year started working with Normative, being our digital carbon accounting platform. We do operate in many territories, and we do operate in different branches and operations across different regions. So getting a good and quality carbon data is in itself not an easy task, but we are quite happy that we've got Normative now, and internally we have also set up a group of carbon champions, or 40 of us, working together to look into how do we capture all the data, put them into one place where it's readable and referenceable, and then benchmark our operation and our carbon footprints globally. Then onwards, we are looking forward to develop net zero strategy plans for our different operations around the world, because we do need to have a target. As I was saying earlier, it is a marathon. We wanted to know where we are running to, and set our plans and training plans for that that matter, right? So that's very important, and I'm very excited that Crown has developed the resources to be able to do that. And we are also very diverse, as you were saying, as a company in the social sustainability. We are also looking to be even more inclusive in the way we operate, be it gender, be it culture. This is something that we are looking to do and develop as part of our DEI initiatives as well. And that the people that make up Crown is the most valuable part of our operations, right? And as we are moving on to different topics, Crown is very interested in upskilling and equipping our colleagues. We have 130 Crown staff being carbon literate certified, and what that means is we all 130 of us, we will be able to speak confidently about sustainability and talk to our business partners, talk to our clients, and be able to exert that thought leadership in a way, because we wanted to lead our clients on a sustainability journey. It is very important for us to know how to guide a journey through the sustainability landscape.
Yeah, definitely. I'm one of those 130 carbon literate individuals. I love doing that course, and I think you're right. It's so important that we, as a team, build our knowledge and understand the issues that we're actually trying to tackle, and that carbon literacy course does that. It's quite harrowing, actually. Look, I think that's all for today, Joy. Thank you so much for joining us, and given the importance of this area in business generally, and the knowledge and expertise that you've got, I doubt this is the last that we'll hear from you. And to all our listeners, you can read more about the sustainability journey we're on and understand how it might fit into your own sustainability objectives or personal goals by heading to crownworldwide.com and downloading our latest sustainability reports. And given that success in this area will ultimately be measured in what we as a global population do in the coming years, why not, in that spirit, share your feedback with us? Ideas, comments, thoughts are all welcome. You can email us at communications@crownww.com, or find us on LinkedIn, Twitter or Facebook by searching for Crown Worldwide Group. Thank you to all of you for listening. Please join us again soon for another episode of Crowncast. Bye for now.